Coco Bill Gang. Now, as a Maverick fan, I feel like I have to personally react to this. This was a generational mistake. Let's get straight to it. JxmyHighroller.
This is the 2024 Dallas Mavericks.
Facts.
The team that accomplished what many teams could only hope for.
Unbelievable.
They made it to the NBA Finals. Now, if ever in this position, most organizations will just run it back the next season.
Literally.
Keep the same core group of players, possibly make a few
Run
tweaks here and there.
back.
But when it's proven to work, the last thing you want is big, drastic changes. But not the Dallas Mavericks. Because out of every big, drastic change you could possibly conjure up, they've gone through every single one of them. Out of the 14 players on this championship caliber team you see here, only 2 of them are currently active on their roster.
That's actually crazy. The nigga doesn't play. Who the hell is that? Injured, traded, injured, traded, injured, traded. Wow, I'll score this. Hey, Jason Kidd, you might have to lace up. Dante and Dwight.
As we speak, the Mavericks had a winning formula, but decided it wasn't enough. It is a mess around and find out of biblical proportions, and a trade that initially felt like the most shocking and inexcusable transaction in NBA history has somehow turned out to be a whole lot worse.
Oh, no. Uh-oh. Oh, I don't feel good about that. Nope.
We're so cooked, man. And our future is
Today's
cooked
video
as
is
well, bro.
sponsored
They
by
don't talk about that
SeatGeek.
enough.
Whether you're looking for concert tickets or the best seats at the game, SeatGeek has it all.
Skip all
30%
that.
off any tickets by downloading the SeatGeek. 25 minutes. 25 measly little minutes. This is the total amount of time Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving played on the floor together this season. It was a marvelous 25 minutes and a glimpse at just how good Dallas could be in the post-Luka era.
It was so nasty.
What would ensue over the next month is a series of events
Kai
that
Jones
would make
injured
even
too.
the most rational,
Brandon Williams
level-headed
injured
sports
too.
fans
Jaden
believe in
Hardy.
curses. 5 weeks ago, when the Mavericks traded away Luka Doncic, the general consensus was that Dallas was trading away their future to win now. How in a matter of 5 weeks they've sacrificed both is a tale that will be told for generations. Since trading away their golden ticket, Dallas has lost Anthony Davis for the rest of the season to a thigh injury. They lost Daniel Gafford to an MCL sprain. In a 3-day span, they lost PJ Washington and Jaden Hardy to ankle injuries, Dante Exum to a foot injury, and Kyrie Irving out for the rest of the season after tearing an ACL. 70% of their rotation.
Oh my gosh. I like Kai Jones. I hope we can keep him. He's good.
Gone. And no generational super mega star to carry the load in the meantime. Under any other circumstance, a wave of injuries like this would be unbelievably bad luck. And that's really what it is. Just sheer bad luck. But it sure doesn't feel like it. Now, I'm not a superstitious person. Everything that happens can be attributed to some rhyme and reason, some cause and effect. But when you throw your franchise player out of the building and call him a fat, lazy heathen before slamming the door in his face, bad luck is gonna look a little bit more like retribution.
Literally,
and
bro.
it is so much worse than we could have imagined. Last season, the Mavericks roster played a total of 18,134 minutes on the court. That's the combined minutes of every player on their roster throughout the regular season. As of this week, only 10% of those minutes are on their active roster.
Oh my gosh,
10%. That means 90% of all minutes from last season are not currently active or playing for the Dallas Mavericks.
Bro, I
and
might
many of
neck
these
up
players
this
will
video,
continue to be out for considerable time, if not the rest of the season. The returning 10% of playing time comes from their backup center, the 8th man, and a man that's been on a 2-way contract for the last 2 seasons.
Williams, bro.
If you have a Mavericks fan in your life, check on them. See how they're doing. Because what has
They don't be
happened
checking
to
on
them
us, bro.
and their team is criminal. The only consolation to the Luka trade was that at least for the near future, the Mavericks would be entitled contention with Kyrie and Davis.
That's true.
That they would be winning games while the Lakers were prepping Luka to take the torch from LeBron before
It's
he
changed.
retires.
It's the opposite.
This couldn't be further from reality. From the start of the season to the infamous trade, the Lakers and Mavericks were just a 1.5 apart in net rating. Even without Luka in their lineup for over a month, Dallas was playing better than LA. But since Luka's first game with the Lakers, LA has the 7th best net rating in the
good
NBA
defense
of
and
plus
good
6.4,
offense.
and
How?
the Mavericks have
Negative.
a net rating of negative 8.2.
Bro, we're close to the Hornets, Nets, and 76. Yo, the Knicks really need to like up their defense. Oh my goodness, they don't even have good offense to have bad defense. Oh my goodness, we were in the middle, and now we're all the way down here. And
worst in the entire league. The Lakers look like legitimate contenders right now, winning 12 of their last 15 games. The Mavericks can hardly field a full roster at the moment. Since Luka's debut in LA, the Lakers are a plus 117 in point differential. In that same time, the Mavericks are a negative 125. Not only did Dallas mortgage their future, they inadvertently sacrificed the present.
Literally.
And to literally add insult to injury, the Mavericks front office and ownership has taken zero accountability for the shoddy decisions they've made throughout all of this. In fact, they've doubled down, insisting Luka was not fit to be the future of their franchise.
Crazy.
But the real kicker to all of this is that in the one game that we saw how this team was intended to look, they played great. Even after Anthony Davis went down, Kyrie Irving stepped up and played some of the best basketball of his entire career, averaging 31 and 6 a game and carrying the offensive load for Dallas. But to pull this off, the Mavs had to play Kyrie far more than he ever has. Over the last month and a half, Kyrie played the most minutes per game of any player in the entire league, not out of desire, but out of necessity. The Mavs needed him to play as much as possible in the absence of Luka and then AD. Over that same time span, in the 5 games Kyrie didn't play and in the one he left early due to injury, the Mavericks went 1-5 and lost by an average margin of more than 20 points. It's impossible to know if Kyrie's injury was exacerbated by the excess minutes he was spending on the court. But playing an aging 33-year-old injury-prone point guard more minutes than he's ever played before feels like a catalyst. Losing AD in his first game with the team felt like the worst-case scenario. And then Dallas lost half of their roster, and then they lost the player who was single-handedly keeping them afloat. Which brings us here. And with the Dallas Mavericks team that doesn't share an ounce of DNA with the team that made it to the finals just last season. Now, you hate to see any player get injured, regardless of the circumstance. The health of the players takes precedence over everything else that's going on. But the Mavericks specifically cited Luka's health as a major concern and one of the main reasons why they didn't see a future with him. The fact that directly following these statements, the Mavericks have been hit with one of the worst injury plagues we've seen in recent history. Luka is absolutely obliterating every team he faces on 2 healthy legs is a level of irony that is almost too strange to even believe. As if the basketball gods are punishing them for the rash and brazen treatment of their former star. A curse. When in reality, this is the result of trading away your best player, swapping him for a player who is often injured, working your remaining best player into the ground, and stumbling into a stretch of bad luck with absolutely no recourse. Right now, the outcry from Mavericks fans is enough to make anyone want to go and protest with them. You know it's bad when Wizards fans are offering you their condolences to no fault of their own and against their wishes.
Hold on. Wizards, what Dallas fans are going through is way worse than being a Wizards fan. Wizards fans know that they have no chance before the season starts. Having a 25 stuff you guys.
Fault of their own and against their wishes. In mere months, they went from cheering on Luka and Kyrie in the NBA Finals to watching their team dissipate and be reduced to rubble. And yet, despite their disappointment for how all of this has unfolded, Maverick fans are still as steady and passionate as ever, sticking by a franchise that has completely undermined them.
Yeah, we'll always be here, bro.
But just this past week, the Mavericks offered their fans a token of appreciation, a gift to alleviate the recent betrayal they were put through by raising ticket prices 8%.
I saw this. They're
masterclass of basketball mismanagement, spearheaded by the worst trade in modern sports history.
Yeah, that was crazy. 8% increase. It's like they think they're like, bro, they're crap, man. They're front office, man. Crap. Everyone. Hey, man, it is what it is. I'll thug it out, man. I'm here. I'm always here for the Mavericks. We are Dirkson. Nowitzki got us here. We're gonna stay here. Now, ring that you subscribe if you're a Mavericks fan. It is what it is. That's me. I'm out.